surf advisory in effect.
You ever see something and you think it's the reason you're put on this earth?
What are you talking about?
The biggest wave in the world, Mavericks. It's real. I want to ride that wave.
Untrained boys don't step in the ring with Mike Tyson.
That boy's gonna surf that wave, even if he dies trying. I mean, wouldn't you?
I'm going to train you to survive because I don't want it on my conscience.
All right, Chasing Mavericks, a story of a surfing sensei and his aqua Padawan.
Wait, what? This isn't the sequel to Top Gun?
I heard you say that, and I was wondering, because I didn't know what this movie was about before I went in. But when I heard you say that, I was like, is it?
Yes.
I asked you seriously. I was like, really?
They're chasing us, Goose! They're on surfboards!
Tony Scott's last film before.
I'm just going to make this a spoiler review because it's
based on a true story.
It's loosely based.
So life really spoiled the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not the spoiler. Death is.
And I hated that. I hate that because there was something that happened at the end. Yet I realized, it's a true story, so I can't fucking talk about it.
Well, I'm going to talk about it because
you are. Okay,
but let's just put it out there. I mean, really, how many people are rushing out to see Chasing Mavericks this weekend?
Apparently tonight, nobody.
They couldn't give tickets away to this fucking movie.
In fact, you could have got to the top of the theater with a surfboard and just surfed all the way down to the bottom without getting in anybody's way.
Yeah, exactly, man. No, this is based on the life of Jay Moriarty. He died tragically in early life. He was born in 1978, died a day before his 23rd birthday. I'm reading about this kid right now, and because I didn't know anything about him. I read about him on my way home, which I almost crashed into a car in front of.
Life imitating art.
While eating Chick-fil-A.
I almost died reading about how Jay Moriarty died. But yeah, he died a day before his 23rd birthday in a drowning accident. And it's not too hard to predict that he might go out that way because he made it his focus in life to go out and chase the most dangerous waves out there.
I know he was like the big kahuna, and if you see like the incredible feats that he did to conquer this thing, then you find out he died in a fucking water gun fight due to drowning.
Surfing is for people that don't think the ocean can kill them easily enough and want to give them an advantage.
It is funny. Like I watching this, I thought like, okay, I don't give a shit about surfing, and yet somehow that movie Blue Crush, it pulled a Fast and Furious where it made me kind of go like, okay, this is kind of exciting. I can kind of see it. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, this movie could at least do that. But the whole time I kept thinking, Gerard Butler's telling him like, no, these waves are dangerous. Those rocks will crush you. They will destroy you. And I kept thinking like, oh, well then let's not do this.
Let's not do that. Yes, again, Brian, I hate to bring this up.
Oh, here we go.
Brian, I hate to do it, man.
I hate to do it too, but you guys won't stop.
Yeah, Brian, I'm getting tired of this subject. I really am. But you guys keep fucking making movies.
We keep seeing movies. If you're not fucking with ghosts, you're fucking with waves and Mother Nature. I mean, this is not the reason.
Life is beautiful. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, go fucking plant a tree. Quit,
Hey, go buy a fucking PlayStation 3, all right? Please.
Yeah, and just
woohoo! I almost killed myself, but didn't.
Just because snow is beautiful doesn't mean you have to die under an avalanche.
To quote the greatest surfing movie of all time, Point Break, not all of us live to get radical, Corey. Some of us are just into the spirit of it.
I don't know. I think one day you just gonna wake up and say, I want to do something fucked up and dangerous.
I want to bungee jump into fire.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Brian's gonna wake up and be calm, and then accidentally drink a Mountain Dew, and then he's gonna skydiving.
It is extreme.
He's gonna eat one too many Doritos, and that's it.
Yeah, and I would say that. Okay, you probably will argue, well, man, I ain't going out there to do all that crazy. I ain't fucking with waves. I'm not going out to climb some crazy mountain.
Videotaping bears.
Yeah, or going sleeping on a haunted house. Videotaping bears. No, but then I see all these kids white kids, by the way, who get bored and just start doing backyard wrestling. And if they can't go to the Alps, they'll fucking ski off their fucking roof.
There is a reason that the guy who came up with natural selection was a white guy.
And see,
it's like there's 3 Jackass movies based on a TV series.
Yeah, only like 2 of them have died. It's weird.
And listen,
they're still making Jackass movies.
I see these, and the reason why I bring this up is because it is kind of importance right here. I've seen documentaries where these guys have said they act like, because they want to play this off like, well, hey, dude, you live life, man. You shouldn't let that scare you or settle you down. I'm going to go out there. If I die doing what I love, I'm going to do it. I've seen documentaries. While thrilling. I saw one where, Coast, I think you saw it with me, or maybe you didn't. Mm-hmm. It was where the people were doing the skiing where they pretty much just ski off of a cliff and just plummet, and then they continue skiing. I was like,
was that called How to Die in Oregon?
Yeah.
No, wait, no.
And one guy, they had a scene where a guy actually started an avalanche and skied away from it. But they had one guy who was saying that. He was like, hey, look, if I die doing what I love, that's just it. And the next scene was he did actually die. And they always say that. I'm going to die doing what I love. And you make it they like to make it seem like...
it's all romanticized.
Oh, yeah. When the snow's coming towards them, like, yeah, bring it on. I don't care. Yeah. But you know, they're like, man, I'm going to die doing what I love. You know what that last minute, they're like...
That last second is like, I really wish my passion were books.
I keep thinking, are these people just too chicken shit to commit suicide?
Well, if you're going to do it in that kind of fun way, man.
Now, I know how good you are. I've seen you out there. You surf circles around those other kids. But those are normal waves. Surfing normal waves is about how you perform when everything goes right. Big wave surfing, it's a different ballgame. It's about how you perform when everything goes wrong. One bump off the face of that wave, and you're hitting the water like concrete at 50 miles an hour. Then you got 1,000 tons of water coming down on top of you. It's knocking you senseless, ripping you apart, and pushing you down to a place that is so deep and so dark. You don't want to be there.
So why do it?
Come on, get out of here. I got work to do.
But this is what this kid did, and he's apparently immortalized now within the surfing community because everybody lived like Jay. But just remember, you live like Jay, you might die like Jay.
Yeah, live like Jay is possibly the worst slogan they could have come up with.
No, that's what I kept thinking too. They spray graffiti, live like Jay. It's like, what, until I'm 22 years old?
Yeah, it's like, what do you want, another Logan's Run? Everyone dead at 22? What the fuck?
Like, that motherfucker ain't living right now. Something wrong with that message.
What you want? You just want to get your name graffitied on a wall somewhere? I don't
And
think
he
it's
was
worth
kind
it.
of a dork when he was alive anyway. At least according to this movie.
Well, in this movie, I thought he was the greatest American hero.
He did, man. Oh my God!
Look at what's happening. Oh God, no!
I was waiting for him to put on the red cape and the red
something-
wetsuit.
That's something that kind of bothered me is how, like, when they at the very end they show you footage of the real Jason Moriarty. It's like, well, why'd they get this Harpo Marx looking kid to play him the whole time?
Yeah, I don't-
Like, they tell a kid like, hey, we need you to cut your hair. He's like, I'll do this role, but I ain't cutting my
I'm
fro.
not cutting my
If they were going to
curly
get
locks.
if they were going to get a Harpo Marx type, the least he could have done would be to play the part mute.
Yeah, you know what? We'll get into this kid in a little bit because, as with most of these movies, he looks nothing like the real guy. But Gerard Butler plays a guy named Frosty I know Frosty. Gotta love that name, Frosty Hessen.
Was he named after Snowman or Wendy's milkshake?
Was he named after aliens? Stay Frosty.
Aliens? Okay.
Yeah,
I know, but the fact that
I personally have no idea what he's talking about.
I know
but I'll laugh
Stay
like-
frosty, people. Stay frosty. I know where it's coming from.
Apparently, I skied off an avalanche. but oh no! Stay Frosty. No, but there's a
Joke avalanche.
I regret nothing.
I died under the weight of my own bad joke.
You're an extremist, Cole. You're crazy.
Extreme bad puns. But this Gerard Butler plays this guy Frosty Henson, and I don't know why he's not more known, but him and a bunch of friends, they go out there and they wait for these dangerous waves to come up, and they're experts at it.
You know why Frosty's not more known? Because he's the harbinger of death. Because
Yeah,
if you
we'll-
watch this movie, everybody around him.
Because I was going to talk about that in a little while too. But he notices across the street there's this kid from a broken home. But the kid's got moxie, and he decides to take this kid under his wing when he sees the kid really loves to surf. And he's like, well, if you can actually follow my strict regimen here, then you can probably go out and surf these dangerous waves too. Now,
Gerard Butler climbs on his back and makes him walk with him through the swamp.
yeah, get on a surfboard with him on his back. Out there, but it's funny because while he's going through this training, this kid does everything but surf. He has to. I mean, it's school again. He's making this boy write essays.
Yeah.
He's making him like go out there and do mathematical equations and stuff.
It's like Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid, except he's Scottish and trying to hide it. So it's like Miyagi.
I was waiting for the wax on, wax off board part
Off. That would be a completely different movie.
It was funny. Like, it took a while, but like first he's like, "I want you to meet me here every day at 6 in the morning and write essays." I'm like, "This kid go to school ever?"
yeah,
Not that we see.
yeah. Leon, you mentioned something that I was thinking of when I was watching the movie too, because right off the bat, I was bored with this shit.
Yeah.
You were chasing some
Thank
Mavericks.
God.
I was chasing some Z's. Doing this.
Thank God, I was right there with
See,
you.
I climbed out that avalanche, man. Right there.
I thought it was just me.
I like that.
No.
Really?
Okay.
I disagree with all of you. This movie was super tense and thrilling. I had no idea whether I would be able to stay awake for the end of the film, and it was a race against time and my own sleepiness.
No, watching this movie was an extreme sport within itself.
Exactly.
But the whole time I was like, man, is this like the longest, most boringest fucking surf instructional video ever? I mean, I was like, man, please. Keanu Reeves, fucking somebody show up to make this interesting. Let's have a bank heist.
Damn,
something going on.
Bruce the Shark show up and eat somebody or something.
Jabberjar.
Bite some girl's arm off or something. You mentioned something that I was thinking about for most of this movie. I'm thinking, man, I didn't give a fuck about surfing coming in here and don't give a fuck about it even more now. We really did nothing to make surfing interesting to me. And it's not that I'm not interested in surfing. I actually, when I see footage of people on waves and whatnot, I'm thinking, wow, that's cool. I can't do that. But you really have to do something when you see somebody riding on a fucking 10-foot wave and you still want to go to bed.
I know. Because I think we were all sleeping throughout this movie. We were trying to
Give us a bank robbery, some guys in president's masks. Come on.
Yeah, but you know something? I will say this, that there is something that happens about 40 minutes before this movie is out that made me feel like I'm watching a different movie. I was invested in many different ways. I thought that's where they actually kicked up the cinematography. That's where they showed you how dangerous these Mavericks are, these waves that they're talking about. Because beforehand, it's like, that don't look too bad, except for your dumbass choosing to like surf near rocks. But other than that, these waves don't look that bad. But when they actually show you El Nino is about to hit,
right,
and then that's when everybody, of course, a hurricane comes, so every white person say, "We got to go surf."
I know. They're bringing
everybody else is running.
I was like, man, it's strange. They're bringing like their family, their kids, everyone's coming out to watch them almost die.
Hey, watch Daddy die.
Have you ever seen footage of someone filming a tornado as it's coming for their house? Yeah, it's always coming for a trailer is what it's coming for.
I remember when Katrina hit, they still managed to get one white guy out there surfing. All the black people were like, shit, we out. But
I think maybe that's the thing, because with Blue Crush, it was a competition. So there's a reason for people to be out there surfing the dangerous waves. But here, these people are just doing it. I don't know. They're just doing it.
But you know, they have daddy issues. That's what the reason is.
But I mean, it still was impressive to see that within that time frame, they really did kick up the cinematography. I mean, that's when you got to see boats being rocked by these huge waves, and you're thinking, boats can't handle this. How are people going to handle this? But in addition to that, that's where I thought that I understood, they actually built relationships between people. Gerard Butler and this kid, that's where I felt like, okay, this is where I see the father and son relationship finally coming into play. This is when I feel like this actor is a real character now. This is when Gerard Butler is showing me some emotion besides screaming and scowling at this kid.
Yeah, because a wave of character development just came and crashed and hit everyone, especially the director. And that's when it actually picked up for me, because, I need a reason. Why should I be invested in these characters? What's going on? What's going on in their lives? What's going on with their world? Why are they doing this? Why are these guys hanging out in the first place? And I thought they actually started to build that up, but it was a little too late. It was too late in the film, but it did keep me invested. I mean, and that's why the last 30 minutes of it actually just worked for me. Not to say it was great, but they did manage to keep me interested.
It's almost a different movie.
It is a different movie.
Well, yeah, because they pull a totally manipulative event that comes out of nowhere, and it's just kind of like, wow, guys, really, this is what you got to do?
Yeah,
to
you
change
talk
the
about
movie?
it being a wave of character development, but for me, it wasn't a big wave. It was more like a fat person cannonballing into the swimming pool. That size of a wave. It was like, okay, but really, that's what you're.
Those are
you're
still
just
fun to
jerking us
watch,
around.
Brian. Those are still fun to watch.
Can't surf that shit. I mean, I don't know about surfing.
By the way, I can think for myself. I wasn't manipulated, all right? Those were real emotions.
You got played, Corey.
You ever seen Corey at the Hallmark
Oh,
section?
no, Pinocchio.
I'm looking at every card and crying.
That's some deep shit.
Listen, don't get me wrong, and I'm going to speak for Cole, so don't get us wrong here, because we are not saying that this is a good movie. I mean, there are more bad moments in this movie than there are in this last 30 minutes of a real
Might
movie
I
that we
point
saw.
out a few?
Well, let me point out one that really stood out to me. Some of the terrible writing in here. When this kid Jay Moriarty when he's 8 years old, he's got his surfboard and he's running down the street getting ready to take on the waves, and he passes this one kid just mad with a bat going down the street, just busting people's rearview mirrors out and busting their side mirrors out, and the kid has typical bully. Had no reason to be mad. Just came out the vagina with a scowl and that bat in his hand. and so they say 7 years later, they show Jay still out there tackling the waves. He gets his board, gets ready to go home. On his way home, he passes this guy like, "Hey, trash!" And you look over, and there's this 17-year-old kid with a bat.
Same fucking bat.
Same fucking bat.
It's like, was that bat super glued to your hand when you were 11 years old?
He has the same bat, same goddamn shirt where his stomach's popping out. I was like, motherfucker, get some new clothes already.
Well, what the movie didn't tell you is that when his father left him, all he left behind was that bat.
Was that one bat? And that's why he's
Was
angry
that
at
one
the
of the
world.
It would be
storylines?
awesome if he was still wearing a Frankie Say Relax t-shirt. Like, hey, trash.
Yeah, I tell you, well, it would have been nice to see that, but as we said, there's hardly any character development in here. Brian, you were talking about, we were mentioning some of the things that they did that they introduce, but they don't bother to flesh out.
Oh yeah, they're like farts in the water, man. They're there and gone. It's like, oh, the best friend he sells drugs. Fuck it. The love interest has this thing where she doesn't like to hang out with this kid because he's younger than her by a fucking year, by the way, and so they can't be together. Oh, but she loves him, and that's just over. And there's no addressing the fact that she was a total bitch to him for no reason.
Yeah.
No, not gonna address that at all.
You say that she was a total bitch to him, but that didn't seem like that to me. There's this whole thing of, yeah, she doesn't like to hang around you, man. Or he says, I know you don't like to hang around me because I'm younger. But every time you see them, they're chumming around.
Yeah.
She doesn't even point where she puts titties in his face.
Except when she's around her friends at school, and he's going like, "Hey," and she's just like, "Who is that nerd trying to get my?"
It makes no goddamn
No,
sense.
It makes no sense.
And the last thing we see is her blowing him off. Not, anyway,
Not in a good way.
Not in a good
He
way.
wishes.
Yeah. She's like, fuck that guy, I'm not going to talk to him. So that's the last thing we see. And then the very next scene that she's in, it's like, I'm in love with you. Me too. What? No one's going to talk about what happened at school?
I'm like, did all this get cut out of the film or something? 'Cause,
Yeah.
it would just not. It made no sense. But my biggest thing was that there's a relationship that you see at the beginning of the movie where this kid learns how to surf, and it's by this kid that he befriends. And so you see this kid, this grown-up version of him, where you're assuming, is that still the same kid?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I wish they would have given him like a fucking paddle or something.
Another bat that he
Yeah.
Well, not to mention that these childhood friends, they have a little bit of a rivalry, a little bit of beef later on in the movie, but then it's just easily forgotten. Like nothing happened.
I mean, there's a diary that comes into play, just like every fucking after school special you see, which
You read my diary?
which you threw shit in my door, and I mean, and there's no explanation for it.
Oh, yeah.
It's out of nowhere.
They make a big scene out of a diary that's found. Somebody reads that shit like they reading Shakespeare to this
Yeah.
kid, and it's just forgotten. Nobody knows.
It really is.
Any kind of effect.
And then the friend shows up after having betrayed the main character and is like, good luck today. And it's like, really? No apology for being a
thank you
douchebag?
for
Or
wishing me good luck, being that you just fucked me over in
Yeah.
the last scene.
Well, the weird thing I kept thinking about is like this being a true story, like that bitchy, girl love interest who later marries him. I'm just like, well, how do these people feel when they watch this movie? It's like, well, God, you're portrayed as a bitch, and you're portrayed as a backstabber.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that.
Oh yeah, no,
And Gerard Butler, you're a guy who doesn't know how to be a father.
oh yeah, there's times when he's like just picking on this kid.
well, not even that, but just with his own kids. Like most in the beginning, it's like his wife is trying to be nice about like, hey, you might want to come be around here and do your duty. And then later, when the kids really need him, go stay with your grandparents.
Well, yeah, stay with them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna nitpick on him there because, like I said, at least I felt like there was some character. I understood his motivation. There were some technical things in the movie that I really didn't like. I just thought was just bad to the point I was laughing out loud. I was laughing next to Brian. I can't. One of my biggest pet peeves in a movie, among many, is when people react to stock footage. When it's not even there. There's a scene where the Gerard Butler and Jay Moriarty are the guy. They're swimming, and all of a sudden they cut to a shark swimming around. Now, you could tell that shark was filmed in 1970 something in another country, and then they cut back to Gerard Butler and his kid, and they're like, oh shit.
It was Jabberjaw. Like, what? Huh? How did he get in here?
It's Jaws the reverse shot.
I'm thinking, man, come on. They try to make it seem like that's some second unit shit. And that was some National Geographic archive shit.
National Geographic. That's Mutual Omaha.
And what the worst part was when they actually projected the shark on the goggles, where you see that shit look like it was superimposed back in the fucking Access Studios.
And then, what really got me, the editing was so bad that they cut back and there was another shark with a mustache.
It's his twin brother.
Hey, that's not the same shark.
Now that's the Mr. Jaws cartoon.
I mean,
Finding Nemo shit.
We've kind of nitpicked this movie to death, which is unfortunate because I'm about to do some more. One of the bigger problems that I have is that Gerard Butler's character has this whole macho thing where he's like, it's me and these four guys, and he's not Scottish in the movie, but in my head he's always Scottish. And we ride these giant waves, and we don't want anyone else coming in and taking our waves. Okay, how did you find out about the waves? Through a fucking radio giving you the surf report. Any jackass with the radio knows when that wave is going to be there.
Which was later printed on the cover of a magazine.
And they acted like it was a big reveal.
Mavericks and Bigfoot are real.
Oh no, now everyone knows when the waves are coming. Yeah, everyone already knew when the waves were coming.
Surf Channel.
It's funny that you mentioned Gerard Butler's accent because he was trying to cover that shit. He does a good job most of the time, but there's some. I don't know, man.
I heard it the whole time.
Did you? Because I didn't. Most of the time I see when he's trying to do an American accent, I'm thinking, okay, I believe that. But he's one of those actors when they start yelling, they get mad for
That's
real.
When it comes out.
Him, Andy Garcia.
Yeah. Andy Garcia can play white all he wants, but when he gets mad, he's full-blooded Cuban.
He turns into
Ricky Ricardo.
He turns into Scarface. Come on, man. Man.
I think we know I'm very angry right now.
Mang is not in the script. Get away from me, Mang. Okay, you can leave it. But no, yeah, I know what you're saying, and I agree with most of you. Was talking about you two over there, Leon and Brian. When
Hello.
You say that there is a part. And we talked about this earlier, and Brian, you just pretty much told me your punk bitch ass was manipulated. And yes, I like the way he's agreeing. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I said it. I'll say it again.
I swear, man, it's like that movie was holding a watch going, follow the watch, look into my eyes.
Just like that shark we follow.
It's okay, Pinocchio. You don't have strings. It's okay.
All right, enough. No. I do think that it was very manipulative, but I felt for that end part. I mean, I was kind of moved by it, and it was not even a good movie. But this whole film, it's not. We just came back from seeing a bad movie, an out loud in your face bad movie. We're talking about Alex Cross. And this movie, it's not a movie that stands out to me in any kind of bad ways. It's not a movie that stands out to me in any kind of good ways. It's not a movie that makes me feel overjoyed. It's not a movie that makes me feel bad. It's just there. It is just sitting there and
like a surfboard without its surfer.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Waiting in the water.
And for that, I just give it a rental.
For all the reasons you name, and there's a bunch of other nitpicks that we had before that we just not even bothering to mention anymore. It's almost that point of like it's not even worth talking about. I know what you mean. Like it's just there. It's bad, but it's not make you angry bad. But what almost pushes over for me is the fact that it's 2 goddamn hours. Like a movie like this, there's no excuse for it to go past 90 minutes. There's just nothing. There's not enough there. It's barely enough to cover the 90-minute spread, let alone to go for 2 hours. I'm giving it a really low matinee. I won't quite go some old bullshit, but it is a very, I mean, did I say matinee?
I was gonna let it slide.
Hey, whoa.
Stop the clock. Stop the clock.
Turn the tide. Turn the tide.
Just sit up here like, we're just going to let him slide.
It's funny because I sensed something was wrong from the way the two of you were looking at me. Like you look like,
damn it.
Corey, you notice how I brought out my silver watch and started dangling it?
You will give this a matinee.
Oh, fuck him
But you
up.
know what?
The two of you had a look in your eyes where they're glinting, and I can see saliva dribbling down your lips, and you're starting to pull out some knives.
I got to start being like poking wear shades when I do this with you.
No, it's a low rental.
I also want to say
super
that
low
I
rental.
thought, and I mentioned this before, but I thought that the surfing at the end was very impressive.
I wasn't. Well, I like the way the surfing was shot through most.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
scenes that
I mean, the
involve
thing
the
is,
surfing.
like the actual end surfing, which should have been cool. That made me. That enforced even more at me. It was like, why are y'all doing this? There's no compelling reason for this to be going on, and I don't feel sorry for any of you.
The whole time I was like, where the fuck is the Coast Guard arresting all of these motherfuckers right now?
Yeah, you guys are being really nice. This movie, first of all, it's put together as poorly as a drunk child's sandcastle. Like, nothing about this fucking movie
And Brian's
makes
been
any
a drunk
sense.
child before.
I have.
Who built sandcastles?
As someone who was once a drunk child, I can speak to this.
Sandcastles.
Well,
Yes.
once, you know.
Well, yeah.
He built the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Yeah.
Let me just say this about this saving grace cinematography we're talking about. Yeah, it's great until all the continuity errors started showing up. He jumps off a cliff at one point, in the reverse shot, the cliff is gone. He's walking down the street, and his surfboard changes sizes for no goddamn reason.
Did you notice the water bottle cap?
Yes.
Where 1 minute's there, the next minute is not, and then it's back.
And it's
again?
just back because of surf gods, apparently.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
The
Stop
bottle
the
cap
director.
swam back, man.
Yeah.
You didn't see that part, did you?
Surf back, Corey.
It's so poorly written and emotionally manipulative. And then they get to the end and they go, oh, wait a minute, this is based on a true story. I guess we got to address the fact that he died. But even that's like an afterthought. It's like, yeah. And then they dare you. They dare you to criticize the movie. They're like, oh, really? Because now he's dead.
I know.
It's like, well, this movie didn't do him any favors.
I thought that was a joke. I was like, is this a Caddyshack ending where Gerard Butler went to go write Final Destination?
That guy is like Final Destination with a Scottish accent. No, I give this movie some old bullshit, and I am very sorry to the young man that actually died. But this movie is not honoring your legacy, sir.
No, I'm sure that guy is like looking wherever. If he's fucking hanging out in the ocean still, he's probably looking over and go, God damn it, Point Break is still my movie. That movie's actually about me. Fuck this other one. 'Cause, yeah, I mean, you watch this movie, and after you're hit in the face, like I was, that it's a true story, because I'm like, man, this movie fucking sucks. This is fucking, what a waste of time for everyone. Man, you're wasting Gerard Butler's time. You're wasting Elizabeth Shue's time.
Oh, not
Will
cool.
somebody please get that woman a decent fucking script and some actual work? But I just hated seeing that, through all this, even that it's a true story, it is dull and boring as hell. It really is. And this guy's legacy seems a lot more important than how they portrayed it on the screen.
So basically what we're saying is that this surfing movie left us all bored.
Yeah. God damn it. Oh, I'm about to...
And I love the way you fell for that. I tried to leap out in front of you and stop you.
He's like, go, no, wrap it up.
He saw it coming. He saw the wave coming. He just couldn't paddle away fast enough.
Jesus, the bullet hit before I could stop it, man.
It's like that shark. Why are you freaking out?
Did I mention that this time about the shark, Gerard Butler taking him down where a shark, and he was like, why'd you panic? I don't know. There's a shark right there. Yeah, but what are you afraid of? I don't know. I guess getting eaten by a shark. It seems like a common fear.
Have you ever seen
Unless
Jaws,
you're a white
motherfucker?
person.
Yeah, exactly.
But man, no, I mean, I was on the fence about, just because that little moment of that little Hallmark moment where they actually threw in some, threw in some character development about why these guys are doing what they do, all their family problems, all that bullshit. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got a little swept away in that.
Oh no!
But
Yay, it's happening.
but now, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? This is some old bullshit. I mean, 'cause if somebody made a movie like this about my fucking life, forget about it.
Come back and haunt them.
No, man. But I mean, it is just poorly done, poorly executed. The fact that they had two directors, I'm interested to hear that story. Like, what happened that you needed two directors to film this dull fucking movie with the resume that they had?
I think they played hot potato with this movie. You take it. No, I don't want it. You take it. You take it. No, it's your
Maybe
turn,
one
man.
of them was sent out surfing with Gerard Butler and didn't come back. So like, shit, we need another one. Anybody else?
And I'm glad you brought up Elizabeth Shue, man, because seeing her in this movie, that poor woman, she
depressing.
is being completely typecast today. How many movies have we seen her in the last 2 months where she's played a mom with problems?
Too many. And Leon and I saw a movie with her. It was that Tommy Lee.
Oh yeah,
movie.
the Tommy Lee Jones. And,
Yeah, Tommy Lee
Meryl
Jones.
Streep.
Yeah, where she played a
the
fucking
sex
bartender for like 2 minutes.
Man.
She had 2 minutes of screen time as a bartender.
Yeah, seriously, she is way too talented an actress to just take these throwaway roles, especially when she walks off of one set and they say, no, don't keep the dress on. No, you're gonna be a mom here too. Yeah.
I know. I was like, who did
She is typecast like a mother.
Yeah,
It's like, who,
it's literally.
who, did
Like
she, who did she fuck over in Hollywood? I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I want to
exactly.
know.
God
Guys,
damn.
maybe she's a bitch.
I don't know.
Hey,
She's
take
so
that back.
adorable though.
Hey, she's a hot bitch, all right?
Or
I'll
maybe
give you that.
we got some white people who like to kill themselves, and some just like to kill their career. Oh, come on! No, stop!
It's so true, it hurts.
Come on!
Why'd you do that?
This is about more than just surfing. It's about choices you make in life. It's about finding that one thing that sets you free.
You gotta be kidding me.
You need to believe in yourself, or none of this matters.